Hello hockey fans and welcome to another episode of Inside the WCHA. I'm Ryan Phelps. Remember to look us up on your favorite social media sites like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on YouTube as well. And for live nightly coverage, log on to flowhockey.tv. There you can sign up for monthly or season passes. Heading into the weekend, Minnesota State had a 6-point lead over Bemidji State, followed by a close race with Alaska and Northern Michigan. Bowling Green was in 5th, 2 points back Michigan Tech. Then Lake State, Alaska Anchorage, Ferris State, and Alabama Huntsville. Last Friday night, we loaded up the family truckster and went to Mankato to check out Game 1 between the Beavers and Mavericks. The two top teams in the conference squared off for a 2-game set in southern Minnesota, Bemidji State at Minnesota State, and two great goaltenders as well, Zach Driscoll for the Beavers, Dryden McKay for the Mavs. BSU gets things going first in the first with an early power play. They work the perimeter. Nick Cardelli's wrister. Look at the tip in front by Owen Sillinger. That's his 9th of the season. And it's 1-0 Green. Same score midway through the second period. Look at this give and go. Andy Carroll over to Ryan Sandlin. He feeds it back out front. Carroll dives and tips in his first goal of the season. Beautiful hustle play by the sophomore. And we are tied at 1. Still tied at 1 late second period. Mavericks at the tail end of a power play. Parker Toomey over to Lucas Sauter. He finds Nathan Smith in front who finishes. That's number 6 for him. It goes down as an even strength goal. And Minnesota State has a 2-1 lead heading into the third. Mavericks trying to put this one away. Bemidji State can't clear. Connor Mackey with the shot. Dallas Gerard sweeps in the rebound. That's his 3rd of the season, 3rd of the game for MSU. That would go down as the game winner. 3-2 the final score as Brad Johnson got one about a minute and a half later for the Beavers. But that's as close as they would get. Minnesota State now leading by 9 atop the conference standings. But that was short-lived. Bemidji State coming out on fire Saturday. And this game started the same as last night's. This time Minnesota State can't clear. Charlie Combs with the steal. Alex Iarula with the finish. And again, the Beavers are up 1-0. This time, they don't let the Mavericks off the mat. Still a 1-goal game early second period. It's a 5-on-4 for the visitors. And it's just a simple rush down the ice. This one started by the goaltender, Driscoll, ahead to Adam Brady. And it's Nick Cardelli making it a 2-goal lead. It would stay that way the rest of the period into the third, and more BSU. Beautiful setup here. Iarula feeds the point. They've got the Mavs running. Elias Rosen with the shot. Tyler Kirkup the tip in. That makes it a 3-0 Beaver lead. They go on to win 4-2 to split the series on the road in Mankato. Zach Driscoll with 48 saves on the night, 20 of them coming in the second period alone. Next up, Alaska Anchorage at Lake Superior State. Two teams neck and neck for the 7th and 8th playoff spots in the standings. Seawolves buzzing, still scoreless midway through the first period. Riley St. Ange comes in. He's stuffed initially by Merrick's mittens, but sticks with it. Trey DeGraff to Zach Cord, back out front to St. Ange, and this time he makes no mistake. That's number 6 on the year for the freshman, and it's 1-0 Anchorage. 5 minutes later, Lakers on a power play, but it's the Seawolves on a 2-on-1 rush. Court to DeGraff, tries to feed it back out front. It ends up behind the net. Mittens loses sight of it. DeGraff doesn't. He puts in his 5th of the year, shorthanded, and Anchorage is up 2-0. Lakers would get one back in the second period on the power play with Max Humett's 15th of the season. So it's a 1-goal game in the final minutes. Lakers on the power play. Great rush down the ice as they gain the blue line. Jacob Nordqvist drops it back to Louis Boudon. His wrister finds its way into the net. And with just 3.5 to play, we are tied at 2. But no overtime needed here. Offensive zone face-off win for the Lakers. Lucas Keibel from the point throws one on net. Pierre-Luc Viette tips it along the way. That's your game winner, number 8 on the season for the sophomore from Quebec. 3-2 the final score. Mittens with 15 saves on the night for the Lakers. Chris Carlson counters with 25 of his own. The Lakers carry that momentum into Game 2 on Saturday. Seawolves goalie Brandon Perrone, trapped in below his own end line, tries to clear it, can't, and Boudon makes a great pass out in front. Humett's on the board again. That's number 16 on the season, and it's 1-0 Lake State. Hampus Eriksson would add another, so it's 2-0 late in the first. UAA on the power play. Braden Camrud cruising around in the offensive zone. His first shot is saved, gets his own rebound, but he wouldn't be denied the second time. Seawolves pull within one. Each team would add a goal early in the second, so it's now 3-2 Lakers. But Anchorage back on the power play midway through the game. And it seemed to be the theme of the weekend. Defensive team can't clear. Lakers turn it over right in front of their own net, and it's Luke Brown again, his second of the game, fourth of the year, and we're knotted up at 3. It would stay that way through overtime, so we're into the 3-on-3. Both teams looking for that crucial extra point in the standings. Hampus Eriksson takes advantage, drives it down the left wing wall, feeds it out front for Pete Violette, and it's another game winner. It officially goes down as a 3-3 tie, but a huge 5-point weekend at home for Lake State. Up next, the dogfight in Michigan. Bulldogs and Huskies. Ferris State at Michigan Tech. FSU in 9th place on the outside of the playoff race, looking in. But the Huskies play tough all 200 feet. Scoreless early second. Huskies cause a turnover at center. Raymond Bryce just off the bench gets the feed from Brian Hallinan. And the Bryce wrist shot beats Ronnie Salomon-Kangas for a 1-0 lead. Exactly 4 minutes later, Huskies at it again. Logan Gainey wins the draw. Parker Soretsky tips it back to the point. Seamus Donahue with the wrist shot. It was deflected by a defenseman along the way, and it's now 2-0 Michigan Tech. Same score 9 minutes later, and again the trend for the weekend continues. Tech can't clear. Jason Tackett finds Marshall Moyes out front, and he buries it for his 9th of the season to cut the lead to 1. But that's as close as they would get. 2-1 the final score. Michigan Tech with the victory. Matt Jarusik with 30 saves on the night gets the win, lucky number 13 on the year. Saturday found another close contest. This time Ferris State gets on the board first. Zach Yoder with a beautiful stretch pass to Hunter Wendt. He beats Jarusik with the wrister for his second of the year, and FSU would ride that 1-goal lead all the way into the third period. This one looks eerily similar the other way. Long pass to Tommy Peratino, picks it up off the wall and beats Salomon-Kangas. That's number 7 on the year for Peratino. They would check this one for offside, but it counts as a goal, and we're tied at 1 late in the third. Ferris State on the attack. Liam McDougall with an end-to-end rush. He brings it all the way in. Jarusik makes the initial save, but Justin McCallion is there for the tip in. That's his 6th to make it 2-1 Ferris State, and that is your final. Bulldogs able to salvage a road split, while Salomon-Kangas makes 29 saves in net for his 3rd win. Our final stop is in Fairbanks, northern Michigan at Alaska. And it was a wild first period. 4 goals already scored, tied at 2. With just a minute and a half to play in the first frame, home team on the power play. The Nanooks are buzzing. Steve Jandrick with the shot, the save made. Chris Jandrick with the putback as he blasts one past Nolan Kent. The camera freezes a bit, but it goes in for a 3-2 Alaska lead. Still in the first, less than a minute later, and it's Hank Sorensen rushing in from the blue line. He has an open lane and he takes it. He knocks in his 3rd and puts an exclamation point on a wild first period. 6 goals, and we're tied at 3. Early second and a 5-on-3 for the Wildcats. Great save at the line by Vincent DeMay. He feeds it over to Philip Ballou, and he goes upstairs to beat Anton Martinson. And it's now 4-3 Northern Michigan. But the Nanooks don't go quietly. Early third, amidst a barrage of shots, and Troy Van Teetering ties the game with his 1st of the year. 65 minutes wasn't enough, so we head to the 3-on-3 overtime. And Joseph Nardi takes it himself. Splits the D and beats the goaltender stick side. It'll go down as a 4-4 tie, but Nardi's goal gives Northern Michigan the extra point in the overtime. Hawthorne with 18 saves in the tie. Anton Martinson turned away 27 in Game 1. On Saturday, Northern Michigan picks up where they left off. Pressuring in the offensive zone, A.J. Vanderbeck feeds Darian Craighead, who is left wide open out front. He pops in his 7th of the year, and the Wildcats are up 1-0. Steven Jandrick and Craighead would each add another goal, so it's 2-1 Northern midway through the game. Justin Young in behind the net has 2 options. He'll go weak side to Tyler Klein, who sneaks it through. That's his 4th, and it ties the game at 2. Still tied, less than 8 minutes to play in the game. Northern Michigan on the power play, using the entire zone. Great passing. And it's Vanderbeck who gets the tally, his 2nd of the year. That is your game winner. Griffin Loughran would add an empty netter. 4-2 the final score. Hawthorne with 18 saves again pulls even at 5-5-3. And 5 big points on the road for Northern Michigan.
There are just 5 weeks left of the regular season, and things are getting tight in the bottom half of the standings.
After the weekend split, Minnesota State still holds on to a 6-point lead over BSU. Northern Michigan leapfrogs over Alaska. And Michigan Tech sneaks by Bowling Green, who was idle. Lake Superior State and Alaska Anchorage hold the 7th and 8th playoff spots, followed by Ferris State and Alabama Huntsville. Coming up this weekend, Ferris State is at Northern Michigan, Bowling Green at Bemidji State, Michigan Tech heads to Alabama Huntsville, Minnesota State at Alaska Anchorage, and Friday night only the Lakers take on the U.S. under-18 team in an exhibition, while Alaska has the weekend off. We'll finish up with our WCHA Weekly Awards. Our forward of the week is Darian Craighead from Northern Michigan, who started the weekend with 2 assists in the first period on Friday, including one on NMU's last-minute goal to tie things up at 3 heading into the first intermission. He continued his success on Saturday, finding the back of the net on the first 2 Wildcat goals en route to a 4-2 win. Our defenseman of the week is Connor Mackey from Minnesota State, who registered 2 points on 2 assists as MSU split a home WCHA series with Bemidji State. He assisted on the Mavericks' game-winning goal in Friday's 3-2 win and also finished with a +2 rating with 4 shots on goal in the series. Our goaltender of the week is Ronnie Salmon-Kangas from Ferris State, who compiled a WCHA best 1.51 goals against average and an impressive 95% in save percentage as the Bulldogs split at Michigan Tech. The Finnish native finished with 57 saves on 60 shots while playing 118-plus minutes, including 29 saves in the 2-1 series finale victory. And our Rookie of the Week is A.J. Vanderbeck from Northern Michigan, who continues to make his presence known on the offensive front, leading the Wildcats in points with 5 as they went 1-0-1 at Alaska. After 2 assists in Friday's tie, Vanderbeck came out Saturday with a career-high 3 points on a goal and 2 assists, including his first career game-winning goal. His 9 points ranks 9th among all league rookies, and his 1.5 points per game is a WCHA best. That's it for now. We'll be back with more next week. Until then, check us out on your favorite social media sites, or for live nightly coverage, log on to flowhockey.tv, where you can sign up for monthly or season passes. Thanks again for joining us, folks. This has been Inside the WCHA. I'm Ryan Phelps.